my morning glories, a warm welcome to Shining Stars of Gurukul English Medium School. I know all of you are excited to learn about the next chapter, but before that, let's revise what we have learned in the last chapter. We have learned that animals and plants are our friends, and we have seen how all living things are related with each other. And also we have learned about how seasons affects living things. Hey kids, today we are going to begin with the lesson storage of water. But before beginning the lesson, I would like to ask you all one question. So here you are going to answer. Guess who am I? I go solid in freezers. In rivers, I can flow. 70% of Earth's surface is covered by me. Here I can give you a clue. Yes teacher, I know. It's a water. Yes Neha, you are right. Do you all know kids that the chemical formula of water is H2O? As water is very important for living things to survive, we all need water for cooking, drinking, bathing, agriculture, and for generating electricity and for factories. So, without water, it is not possible to do all this work. Students, look at the picture and can you tell me what you have observed? Yes kids, you are right. On left hand side there is no life because there is no water. On right hand side, earth is full of life because of water. See how water plays very important role in our life. So don't waste it. Friends, can you tell me from where do we get water and what is the main source of water? Rain is the main source of water. Students, before learning the different methods of storing water, let's do an activity. Here is a hillock made of mud and stone. Students, here hillock means a small natural or man-made hill. Let's pour some water over the hillock with a watering can like a rain. Children, if you observe carefully, you will come to know that water flows from top towards the bottom of hillock. Students, see carefully. On steeper slope, water flows faster. On gentler slopes, water flows comparatively slow. Children, you can see that when stone doesn't allow water to flow in a particular direction, it changes its direction. Children, can you tell me where do puddles form? The puddles are formed at the place where small pits are formed. Meaning of puddle is a small pool of water. Meaning of pit is a small hole in the ground. Now stop watering the hillock and observe carefully. The hillock get dry when we stop pouring water. This is because some water seeped into the soil of hillock and some water got evaporated. The hillock took almost an hour to dry. Over here, evaporated means liquid changed to a gas. Students, which part of the hillock dried quickly? You can see that the stones at the bottom of hillock dried quickly. Here, the soil of hillock took longer to dry. Can you tell me why did it took longer to dry? Water in hillock took longer time to evaporate. That's why soil took longer to dry. Children, from this activity, you will realize that some rainwater flow away over the ground. Some water seep into the ground. The rainy season lasts for 3 to 4 months, and all living things use this water all year round. So it becomes necessary to store water for our needs. In part 2, we will study in details about different ways of storing water. Thank you. Hey kids, I'm back with part 2. In this part, we are going to study about 2 different ways of storing water. Let's see in detail. Let's learn about traditional method of storing water one by one. First one is wells. Some rainwater seeps into the ground. Wells are dug to obtain this water. Students, over here, seep means to flow slowly through small openings into the ground. Second one is water tanks in forts. Another way of storing water is through tank. A tank is just like a huge swimming pool. There are lots of tanks on the old forts. In past, people lived on the hill forts. They also needed water. So, forts had reservoirs and tanks dug. Students, take an example of Fort of Shivneri. Students, over here, reservoirs means a source of water. Third one is draw wells. Ad. Ad is a Marathi word which is used for draw wells. Children, do you know in past draw wells were dug to get drinking water. Water was drawn from the small wells by using a small pot called pohra tied to a rope. Over here, pohra is a Marathi word which means a metal or wooden bucket for drawing water. Students, do you all know draw wells can be seen in many villages, especially Atpadi in Sangli district had a draw wells in every vada. Now, draw wells went out of use because of tap water system has been introduced. Fourth is rivers and burns. Earlier, people realized that they could also build a wall across a river to stop the water from flowing away. The small walls were called burns, which were made of earthen or masonry. Over here, student, masonry means a structure built of stone or brick by a mason. Over here, mason is a person skilled in cutting and laying stone and building. Children, let's see the fifth method of storing water, that is old reservoirs. It is used in those areas which faces water problems or in the areas where they do not get much rainfall and does not have major rivers around them. These reservoirs were built by using stone and mortar. Children, over here, mortar is a paste used to bind building blocks such as stone. Example of old reservoirs is a tank of Chandwad in Nashik district. Student, last one is old tanks, which is also known as Haud. Haud is a Marathi name for old tank. Earlier, tanks were used to store water. Even we use plastic tanks, and our buildings too have tanks at the top to store water so that we can use it when we require. Some large cities still uses this old tanks to store water and use it for different purpose. An example is a tank in Aurangabad city still is in use. Our next topic is recent system of water storage. Dams and borewells are the modern method of water storage. First one is dams. A dam is constructed on a river and the walls of the dam have doors. They are kept closed only when required. They are open. Students, you can take example of our Bavi Dam. During rainy season, when there is a high rainfall, the level of water rises in the dam. Hence, door need to be opened. From this, we came to know that dams can store a huge quantity of water. Children, do you know? Because of these dams, it become possible to do more cultivation and to set up the factories and to generate electricity. Students, over here, cultivation means growing crops. Students, can you tell me the names of some dams in Maharashtra? No? No problem. I'll tell you. Maharashtra has many large dams like Jayakwadi, Koyna, Ujni and Yeldari. Students, in recent system of water storage, second one is bore wells. In past, wells were dug for obtaining the water under the ground, but it was not possible to draw deep-seated groundwater. So, borewells are dug for this purpose. The opening of wells is also very small these days. A machine directly dig deep, and with the help of electric pumps, water come through pipes directly into the taps. Students, I'll tell you one interesting thing, that is about panpoi. In English, it is called as drinking water stands. Panpoi is introduced for the people who were thirsty out on the road. Some good people or institutes, they had an idea of panpoi. These are mud pots or big clay jars used for keeping drinking water, kept on a corner of road. Children, do you all know? This water is offered free of cost. Panpois are very useful, especially in summer season. So students, in this chapter we have learned about old water storage system and recent system, and we also learned that rain is a main source of water. It must be stored. Water is very important for all living things on this earth. Students, do you all know one thing? That even Shivaji Maharaj gave some instructions for construction of hill forts. First one is, a fort should be built if there is water in that place. Second one is, the water in the fort should be well protected and it should be used when needed. Example of such fort is a fort of Janjira. Children, even you all can save water at home. Do you want to know how? You can do the following things to save water. Water used to wash vegetables can be used for watering plants. So, students, from this lesson we have learned that water is life. We must save it. A very good morning to all my dear students. Welcome to Gurukul English Medium School. I know you all are excited to learn new lesson. So, I'm there now to teach you all. Let's start. Students, today we are going to learn lesson number 4, that is water safe for drinking. But before beginning with this lesson, let's recap what we have learned in previous lesson. We have studied about different methods of storing water, that is old and recent system, and also importance of water. Students, in lesson number 4, first we are going to learn about substance that can dissolve and cannot dissolve. Second, things sinks in water or floats on water. Yes, students, before beginning, I would like to ask you all one question. Which glass of water can you drink? Tell me. Yes, of course, the clear water. Why so? Because drinking water must be clean and safe for us. Students, do you all know pure water has no smell, taste or color? Try this. Take 2 glasses, fill them half with water and label them 1 and 2. Now add 1 spoon of sugar in glass 1 and stir it with a spoon for few seconds so that it gets dissolved in water completely. Add 1 spoon of salt in glass 2 and stir it properly so that salt gets dissolved in water. Now leave both the glasses undisturbed for few minutes and then observe carefully what changes takes place. Children, in glass 1, sugar get dissolved completely in water. In second glass, salt also got disappear in water. Students, over here you will not find any particles of salt and sugar in water. Try this experiment with washing soda and alum powder. In Marathi it is called as turti. After carrying out this experiment, you will find that even alum and washing soda get dissolved completely in water. So students, from this experiment we get to know that some substances completely dissolve in water. They are called soluble substance. Students, let's try out the next experiment to understand what are insoluble substances. Take 2 glasses, fill them with water. Now take 1 spoon of turmeric and add it in glass 1. Now stir it continuously for few seconds. Now take 1 full spoon of oil, add it in glass 2. Stir it continuously for few seconds. Students, tell me what changes takes place. You can see that in glass 1, turmeric powder does not dissolve, or you can say disappear in water. Now observe second glass. Even oil does not get mixed with water. oil is floating on the top of the water. Try out the same experiment with soil and wheat flour. You will find that even they do not dissolve in water completely. So students, from this experiment, we get to know that some substances do not dissolve in water. Such substances are called insoluble substances. Students, before moving further, let's learn some new terms. First is solute, second is solvent, and third is solution. Let's understand these new terms with the help of this chart. A simple solution is a mixture of two substances. One of them is called solute and another is solvent. Solute is a substance to be dissolved, means here is sugar. Solvent is a one who is dissolving. Yes, in water we dissolve sugar and mixture of this is called solution. Here it is a sweet water. Children, have you heard about ORS? No? I'll tell you. ORS stands for oral rehydration solution. Over here, rehydration means a process of putting water into a body. ORS is a solution of sugar and salt. It is given to someone who gets loose motions. Children, have you seen a patient in a hospital is put on saline? Yes, teacher. Okay, Neha. Do you all know what is saline? No? Okay. Saline is a solution of salt in water. ORS and saline are useful solutions. Children, do you all know we cannot drink seawater because it contains salt naturally. Children, you must have seen bubbles coming out when we open soda water bottle. Take an example of Pepsi bottle. Do you all know what will be the reason? This is because carbon dioxide is present in the bottle. Children, let's do one experiment to understand which things sinks in water and floats on water and what is the reason behind it. Try this. Fill a large container with water. Collect different things from your surrounding, from your house and from your compass box. Now put these things one by one in the water. I have collected plastic scale, pencil, leaf, screw, coin, sharpener, rubber band, eraser, steel spoon. You can clearly see that leaf, pencil, plastic ruler, rubber band are floating on water, while sharpener, eraser, spoon, coin, screw sinks in water. Children, do you have any idea what will be the reason behind this? No? No problem. I'll tell you. This is because the things that float are lighter than water, means their weight is less than water. The things that sinks are heavier than water. It means their weight is more than water. Students, try these experiments at home under your parents' guidance. Children, I'll be back with more experiments in next video. Till then, study regularly and complete your work on time. Thank you. Good morning, my shining stars. Welcome to Gurukul English Medium School. Kids, I'm back with part 2. But before beginning with second part, let's revise what we have learned in part 1. First, we have learned about soluble and insoluble substance. Second, things that float on water or sink in water. Third, about useful solutions. Students, in this part, we are going to perform one experiment. Second, we are going to learn about different methods to make water clean and transparent. Third thing, we are going to learn about potable water. Let's do one experiment to understand what is sedimentation or settling, and second, to understand the process of filtration. Try this. Take some clear water in a beaker. Now take some mud and mix it in a water. Color of the water is changed. Keep beaker undisturbed for 4 to 5 hours. The insoluble particles settle down at the bottom. These are called sediments, a process in which heavier particles go and settle at the bottom of the still water is called sedimentation or settling. Children, if you all will observe, twigs and rubbish is still floating on the water because they are lighter than water. Now you can see that water is much clean and transparent than before, but still some fine particles of soil are floating. Now, without disturbing the sediments, pour the upper clean water into 2 beakers. Take first beaker and add alum in it. Leave this beaker undisturbed for 2 to 3 hours. You all can observe that alum reacts and binds with small particles and become heavy. Slowly they go down and settles at the bottom and give us clean water. From this experiment, we get to know that alum in water helps the soil particles to settle down. Students, in next experiment, we are going to see filtration process. How filtration helps to make water clean and transparent. Now, take a small piece of cotton cloth and put the cloth on the top of the beaker. Now, pour the water of second beaker through the cloth. What do you observe? You will observe that soil particles remained on the cloth while water passes through the cloth and gets collected in the beaker. Do you know why? This is because cotton cloth acts as a filter. The small pores in the cloth doesn't allow a bigger size soil particles to pass through it, and soil particles remain in the cloth while water gets collected down in the beaker. This process is known as filtration. Through filtration, we can strain muddy water and make it clean. Kids, before moving further, I want you all to learn some new words. First is micro. Micro means very, very small. Organism means a living thing. Now, combine micro and organism. Microorganisms are living things that we cannot see directly by our eyes or even by magnifying glass because they are very, very small in size. Children, have you all heard about potable water? Children, potable water means a water that is safe for drinking and it does not harm our body in any way. Children, as you all know, pure water has no taste, smell or color. If water has, then we must avoid drinking such water. It can make us sick. Here, I would like to ask you all a question. Suppose you are going to your native place and on the way you find water of spring or well and it has a bad smell. Would you drink it? Of course you must not, children, because it is not safe for drinking. Children, do you all know microorganisms are present in the soil, water, air, that is everywhere. Students, in rainy season, you all might have heard of an outbreak of diarrhea or gastritis. Gastritis means stomach irritation. In diarrhea, a person suffers from stomach pain, fever, loss of water from the body. Diarrhea and gastritis are infections that are caused by harmful microorganisms present in water. Even after filtration of water, some invisible microorganisms are present. So children, it is very necessary to kill these microorganisms by boiling water. Then only it becomes safe for drinking. Students, do you all want to know one more interesting fact? Like harmful microorganisms, there are many useful microorganisms. They do not harm our body. They are good for our digestion. Take an example of yogurt, that is dahi. You all might have seen that your mom keeps a bowl full of milk in the night and in the morning that milk gets converted into yogurt. How come? This is because some useful microorganisms helps to convert milk into yogurt. Children, do you all want to see that yogurt and buttermilk contains microorganisms? I know you all are excited, so let's do it. Take one glass slide, add few drops of buttermilk on slide. Now observe it under microscope. Children, microscope is an instrument which we use to see a very small thing. Children, you can clearly see that some microorganisms moving on the slide. From this, we get to know that buttermilk contains some microorganisms. These microorganisms are useful for us. Students, let's see what we have learned in this lesson. Thank you.